Hi everyone, welcome back to This Book Belongs to Pam. A year ago, exactly a year ago, I posted my 2022 book wish list, and I thought it would be fun to make that a recurring thing every year and see if I actually did get any of the books in that wish list. Maybe see if I don't want some of the books that are in there anymore, or if there are some books from that list I want to carry over to this year. So let's just do like a quick run through of all of the books. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 books, or technically some of those books are series, so there's like a lot more books. 15 books slash series in my wish list last year. And the first one is actually The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Now, I read this book last month, and I still want to keep this in my wish list. The next book in the list is Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. I very much still want this book. It is definitely gonna be carried over to my 2023 wish list, and I'm just thinking of maybe just buying it for myself this year. We'll see. We'll see. It's kind of hard to find locally, but I have my ways. The next book is A Diary of Blood by S.T. Gibson, and I have read this book since then. I have given this book 5 stars. I will link my October wrap-up where I read this book. I also put it in the Reading Like Jan Agaton video that I did. And then I also finally got it, but I don't have it with me yet. I'm gonna get it like end of December. The next book in my 2022 wish list is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. So I got it. This is the Fairy Loot exclusive edition. It is so pretty. Oh, I love how gothic it looks, which matches the story itself. Put it on the shelf. The next book in this list is actually a series, and that is the Magnolia Parks universe. Magnolia Park series by Jessa Hastings, and I have it. I have the original self-published covers, the OG covers. The 4th book, The Great Undoing, is still on its way to me, but I have it. I have secured it, and I haven't read it. I am planning to read this in January, so I guess spoilers for my January content. I'm gonna be reading the entire Magnolia Park series, and I am gonna be sharing the experience with you. And yeah, I'm just so happy that I got it. I'm gonna add that, like, crossed off 3 books from my 2022 wish list. The next one is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I actually don't know if I want to get this at least anytime soon. I'm not gonna be putting it in my 2023 wish list. The next one is Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors. I actually only put this here as a cover buy. Like, I have no idea what it's about. I'm gonna cross this off the wish list. Then I also have On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I still want this, but I'm not like in a rush to get it, so not gonna be 2023 wish list. And then the next one is Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I still very much want this. I am debating on getting some of the books right now on hardback. I have not read this. I have not finished Mistborn, but I still want this. So this is going straight into my 2023 wish list. Next on the list, I have acquired, which is the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. At the time when I posted the wishes, there were only 2 books, which is just Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After. Now the final book has also been released, so I have them all complete. So let's add that. The next one is Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. I still want to read this. Will it be in my 2023 wish list? Not sure yet. Next one is Full Metal Alchemist. Let me just get it. It's quite far. I put in my wish list last year Full Metal Alchemist Volume 4. I have acquired the Volume 4 for Full Metal Alchemist in the Full Metal Edition. I think the next book that I need to have is the 9th volume. I haven't checked it. But yeah, this will just be a recurring book in my wish list until I have all of the volumes. Full Metal Alchemist. Next one is Tomie by Junji Ito. I don't have this yet. also want to have this, so I am gonna put it in my wish list. Next one is Cultish by Amanda Montel. I'm actually reading this book now, and I don't know if I want to have a physical copy of it, so not gonna be on 2023 wish list. The last one on the list is Bunny by Mona Awad. Now, I still very much want this book. It is so hard to find in hardback. Can't find it. I can't find it for a reasonable price. So if you have any leads, let me know. That is all from my 2022 book wish list, and I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Checked off quite a bit from the wish list, which is always a good feeling. Now it's time to figure out what is my new 2023 book wish list. Aside from the books that I mentioned earlier that I'm carrying over, these are the books that I'm adding to my 2023 wish list. I'm gonna start with the books that I've already read and I want in my collection. So the first one is Allswell by Mona Awad. I read this book. I have forgotten when I read this book, but I included it in this 36 book wrap up that I did earlier this month, or in November, I think. And this is like the second book that I read from Mona Awad. I loved Bunny, so she's definitely becoming like an auto-buy author for me. The next one is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. I read this for Vampathon and I really enjoyed it. This is a 5-star book for me, and I love the subtle witchy vibes. I love the mystery aspect of it, and I just really enjoyed it. So I want to have it in my collection. Third on the list is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This is honestly, I think, my favorite romance book of all time as of now. I love the characters, I love the setting, I love the tropes, I don't know, and the lines in this book. I love this book and I just want to have it in my collection. I want to reread it too. And I know that Tia Williams is also coming out with a new book and I definitely want to check that out. But for now, in my wish list is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. Fourth on the list is a series that I have already read. I have enjoyed it a lot. It is kind of like a guilty pleasure read for me, and that is the Off-Campus series by L. Kennedy. Now, I want this edition. They came out with an edition with illustrated covers, like the typical romance look, and I vastly prefer this to the ones that I have right now. I will be selling those once I get my hands on this one, because I don't know, it's just so cute. The next one is also a series that I read this year that I absolutely loved, and that is the Aurelian Cycle by Rosaria Munda. It is such a good fantasy book. If you want Fourth Wing but make it a lot more about the world, the plot, the politics, the character development rather than the romance, Aurelian Cycle. There is romance in here, but it's not the main point, but there is some satisfying romance in here as well. So yeah, if you want something a little bit more serious, a little bit more fantasy than romance, Aurelian Cycle. And I want this series in my shelves. I want it. So this is high on my wish list. Next one is the last book in this list that I've already read, which is What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. Another 5-star book for me. I am surprised because I don't read a lot of like horror books, gothic horror books, and I really enjoyed this one. It's such a short book, but it did so well in so many different aspects of storytelling, and that is why I loved it. And the cover is gorgeous. It's very gothic-y, very horror, but very beautiful as well. To move over to the part of the list of books that I haven't read yet, I want to read What Feast at Night by T. Kingfisher. This is the second book in the Sworn Soldier series, but I have no idea what this book gonna be about. I just love the cover as well, and if What Moves the Dead is any indication, I am gonna love this one too. So What Feast at Night by T. Kingfisher. Next one is also a series, and this one is I have been looking forward to reading this series for a long time now, and that is The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. Everyone just says this is like the best series within the Shadowhunters universe / Chronicles. So I just want it. Give it to me. I want it now. Another series is The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't know really what this is about. I just see a lot of people really enjoying it, and I am willing to take a leap of faith and purchase the physical books so that I could like read it in the way that I prefer, which is physical book. No clue, no thoughts, head empty. I just want to have the books. Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. Next one is Ninth House and Hellbent by Lee Bardugo. I don't know if this is a duology or a trilogy. I thought it was a duology, but I read some comments in other videos where Lee Bardugo talked about like a third book in the series, so I don't know. Right now it's a duology. I really want to read it. Everybody says it's so good, and I want to read it. I want to read it. So, Ninth House in Hellbent by Lee Bardugo. Next one is Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I have been wanting to read this for a while. I've heard so many good things about it. They said it's eerie, it is very thought-provoking, it is very sad and reflective, which is right up my alley. So, I want to check it out. And the covers that I've seen look really great, so I thought it would be a good addition to this list that's not fantasy. The next one, you guessed it, Rouge by Mona Awad. Now, I have not read this book, and I know that it's a commentary on the beauty industry, which is very interesting. And I loved Bunny, I loved All's Well, so maybe I'll also love Rouge. The signs are telling me that I'm gonna love Rouge, so the cover is also very beautiful. I am not gonna sleep on this one. I am gonna be getting this as soon as I can. So, Rouge by Mona Awad. Next one is The List by Yomi Adegoke. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I found out about this book through Jamie's library. She talked about this, and the way that she described it was just so interesting for me. From what I know, there's this public list of men who did something shady, and the main character, she finds that her husband is on that list. So it's kind of like, oh my gosh, my husband is on the list, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna confront him about this? I have no idea, but it sounds so interesting, and I also really like the cover of this one, so I thought I'd put it on my wish list. The last book on this list is Letters to a Young Poet by Rilke. I have not read this book. I think it's a classic, modern classic, I don't know. I just know that Emmy absolutely loves this book. Like, she reads it all the time. She has like a million editions of it, so I got curious about it, so I thought I would add it to my list. I've been wanting to read more classics, even just like bit by bit, and I thought this is a good addition to that. And obviously I'm also gonna add in all of the other books that I mentioned earlier: Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice, Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson, Full Metal Alchemist, Tomie by Junji Ito, and Bunny by Mona Awad. So this is my entire 2023 wish list. Guess we'll find out next year if I actually end up purchasing any of these books, or if I get gifted any of this book, or if there are books here that maybe a year from now I don't really want to have in my wish list. That is it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!